Welcome back to Games Revealed. I'm James Nelson Brink, and we are one. So today, I want to talk about how you can just get a little better experience out of streaming your PlayStation 4 or 5 on your deck. Now, I already did another tutorial how to set it up. You can go watch that. I'll have it in the description below. If you haven't yet set up your deck for that experience, it's pretty good. I like it quite a bit, but there's been plenty of comments. There's been plenty of even issues on my side, not really major issues and stuff that you can usually resolve, but I'm gonna go over a couple of fixes that you can do, plus a couple of caveats, a couple of things that aren't quite fixable yet in today's video. So before we get into it, make sure to like, subscribe, bash that bell with your crowbar. Now, let's talk about it. First up is, are you having connection issues? There's a couple of things you can do to fix this, and there's a couple of things you can do that will hopefully, remedy this whole thing. So first up, you can change the settings. If you go into Chiaki, there are settings. I recommend doing this in desktop mode, as you just get a little bit more control. In game mode, it doesn't work as well. You can still do it there. It just works better in desktop mode. And there are various amounts of settings that include codecs, that include audio, video, bit rates. That type of stuff can help. If you just adjust it, it can help with audio, video, and various other issues that might arise as you're playing. That being said, I think the major problem that people are going to have if you're having those types of issues is probably your router. So you can either change the bit rates or get a new router is kind of my recommendation with those. If it's an older router especially, then it might be time to upgrade. Now, with the audio, for sure, it's verified from someone in the comments that if you set your audio buffer to 19,200, that should help solve some of the audio cracking. Now, you can adjust that number up and down if you need to. You can adjust various other things as you test it out. It's one of the pains, and it's not going to be perfect for everyone. I think some of these settings are going to be specific to the Steam Deck, but others are just because your connection. That's a big part of this, is just how good your connection is. Now, those are connection issues. It might not resolve everything, but it's the stuff that I can recommend for now. As I don't have some of the problems that you might be having, I can't recommend any other bit rates or anything else. I can just say you're gonna have to mess around with these settings, and it's fixed it for some people. Now let's go on to the buttons, the mysterious trackpad that you cannot get to in the deck. Now, I have good news and bad news. Good news is that you can get the trackpad button to work. You can't get the swiping, the gestures to work yet. At least I haven't been able to get it to work, whether or not connecting a PS5 controller or just on the deck itself. But let's talk about the trackpad first. So it's mapped to T on your keyboard because these settings are typically used with a keyboard and mouse on, let's say, a PC. But because we're in game mode, we don't really have access to the T button, and not very easily at least. So what I recommend doing is going into the settings on Chiaki and going to and it will be on the right side, changing that trackpad from T to tab. Okay, so now that we have it mapped, you can go into game mode and you can access the tab or escape key, which are two keys that you're gonna really need. And let's talk about that in a second. So you got the quick access button and you got the Steam button right here. Those are your two friends. Either one will start this whole process, because you have to hold it down and you'll get this helpful little shortcut button that will show you what the escape key is and what the tab key is to initiate inside of a game. Now, you hold it down the quick access menu in this case, and then you can press the left D-pad to get the escape key, which does the PlayStation button, which lets you see the PlayStation menu. That's a really useful one to get out of your game, to switch games, to do various other things, to turn off the PlayStation. Then also hit the quick access menu or the Steam button plus the down arrow, the D-pad right here, and that will do the tab button, and that will initiate a trackpad button down. Once again, doesn't do gestures or anything else, so hopefully your game handles that. I can't, it's one of those hard ones where I don't know, some games might require gestures. I think in Ghost of Tsushima, it might require you like once or twice to bow, and that's what the gestures will do. I don't remember if it does or not, but at the very least, you can sneak through things in Ghost of Tsushima with that little trackpad button trick I showed you. Then let's move on to the PlayStation 4 5 controller. It does work when it's hooked up, but it's only recognized as a regular controller. It's not even recognized as an Xbox controller. You can play your games and all that. It will still work, but the trackpad button doesn't work on it. Meaning if you click it down, it acts like, you know, it's the menu button. And so that's kind of weird. There might be drivers out there. I didn't get that far into looking into it, so maybe you could find some Linux drivers for the PS5 controller or maybe even the PS4 controller that will enable that support. If that's enabled, the trackpad would work. I can't guarantee it. I don't know the whole system. So with that being said, that's really it. Those are kind of the things I've noticed people mainly having issues with. That is connection issues, whether it be in crappy audio, video, or not be able to access the PlayStation menu or the trackpad button. That's what we covered today. Also, in the future, I'm going to be covering how to play from anywhere. Instead of on your local Wi-Fi, you can play from your grandma's house, wherever you want to be. You could be playing. Now, there's a caveat to that. Like, if you're going to be playing over the internet, you're going to get a reduction in quality. That's just how it is. I've played my PlayStation 4 and 5 away from my house, and yes, there is some latency issues, but it's still nice to be able to do it. But there should be some tricks that we can do to get this to work, where you can fake a network across the internet, like a local area network across the internet. So we'll go into that in another video down the road. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Was this helpful? Is this nice? Is there anything else you're running into that maybe we could look into and maybe solve in the comments? Yeah, hopefully this was a bunch of help. And do you think playing your PlayStation from the internet from anywhere is helpful? Or do you think the latency is just not quite worth it? I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are. With that being said, check out my other videos. Check out the description below for any tidbits about this video that are in there. And then with that, we're done. So peace out. Later!